Yeah, so I'm Martin. I run Hornbeam Hedgehog Sanctuary. We're a charity that rescues hedgehogs based in Hertfordshire, actually Harpenden. Every year we rescue between 250 and 300 hedgehogs. The hedgehogs we rescue are rehabilitated, so they have injuries, generally speaking, rehabilitated to full health, and they're released back into the wild. Most of the hedgehogs are released back into the wild. There are a handful each year that are not through disabilities, so they are either blind or have limbs that have been amputated that are, because of those injuries, we're not able to release them back into the wild safely. But they are released back into semi-wild gardens.
How do people volunteer? You know, how does the process work for them to become a volunteer?
So if you'd like to volunteer with the charity, we have a website where there's an online application form. We can register your interest depending on what you'd like to help out in. It's not just rescuing hedgehogs and caring for the hedgehogs, it's also other elements like social media, video, also helping out with awareness, stalls and events, along with educational talks for children and organised groups. And then at the sanctuary itself, there's also volunteers to help us out with the hedgehogs. We rely heavily on local vets that are very kind to us, that help us out with the more serious injured hedgehogs. But yes, so retired vets are always very, very nice to get hold of if you are one of them.
Or anyone of any age?
So age doesn't really matter. There's going to be a position that someone can help out at the sanctuary, or at home, or at events, or elsewhere. So yeah, age is not really a big issue.
Because it's something that you volunteer for, obviously, but would you say that it's beneficial to you as well? You know, like you get a satisfaction from it?
Yeah, it's great satisfaction. I think it's a great privilege to be so close to this wild creature and to sort of see it in a way that one wouldn't get the chance to when it was actually out in the wild. I do have hedgehogs come into the garden during the summer time, but nevertheless they tend to scoot off pretty quickly if they see any movement. Whereas when I have one that's in the cage, which I'm having to care for, I find it a real privilege. I think it's very satisfying. I think that anyone who is willing to volunteer is making a huge contribution to the welfare of hedgehogs, and in view of the fact that there is a huge reduction in the numbers that exist in the UK, every hedgehog that can be saved, enabled to survive over the winter when it's underweight and so on, to be released in the spring, is a huge contribution and extremely satisfying, I think, for the individuals concerned. So I'd really encourage others to take part.